and uh, and Spud today. Spud, your camera is making you appear very tall. You
Then in
looking at
case
yourself there?
I want to buy one.
Yeah, you.
How much do these cameras cost?
He looks
Hell,
like-
I'll buy
He
two.
looks like he's 7 feet tall on YouTube.
How many cameras do you have on you?
Fantastic. Yeah, very nice. I'll fix that during the break and put you back down to the midget size you deserve.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Okay, 6:06. Wowzer, it's Monday morning. It is the 3rd of August already. Is that right? Yeah, I missed most of the weekend. Anyway, 2026. Holy cow. Weather today, not really much of a chance of rain, actually, most of this week, or so they say. 86 for a high today, 89 tomorrow, then maybe low 90s by Wednesday. Valerie Vining is off all this week, and we'll have a cavalcade of guest hosts stepping in her place, the first of which is Mark Spud Friedman. Good to see you, my friend.
It's good to see you, too.
How are you doing? What's that on your shirt? What is it looks to me like have you
That's
been somewhere?
Logo from a Ryder Cup. No, I'm sure I didn't buy it the year it came out. I'm still a thrifty kind of shopper for
Picked that up
clothing.
at the Goodwill.
Yeah, it
at one
could well
point.
have been.
Very nice.
Could well have been.
Yeah.
I keep stuff a long time, too, Richard.
I know.
It has to wear out.
Yeah.
I mean, the kind of stuff I buy doesn't go out of style. So if it's not worn out, I got some shirts that are 30 years old.
Yeah, this is how cheap Spud is. He'll take his shirts, instead of going to the dry cleaner, he'll donate them to Goodwill, and they will put them through the cleaner. They will press them. They will then put them on hangers, and then Spud goes back and buys them all back for 99 cents each. It's a great deal. It's a really good way of doing business. You should try this at home.
Check spud.com and
That's
you'll.
right. One of the many, many helpful hints you can find there at Spud's Rules for Living.
That's right. Life hacks.
Your entire life is a hack.
That's true.
If you could compare Spud to anybody on television, alive or dead, it would have to be Kramer from Seinfeld.
Jerry, this could be a whole new career for me.
You mean a career. All right. Why don't I tell you a little bit about Mr. Bugs, MRBUGGS.com. Austin from Mr. Bugs coming to my place today. He is going to be fixing up anything and everything that needs to be fixed up. First thing he does is he goes around and checks the Centricon system. That's my termite bonding situation. And then he is going to spray the outside, make sure that the bugs on the outside stay there. Then he's going to come inside. He's going to take care of the inside of my house and kill any and all bugs that happen to be there. And he's going to check on my small rodent control. And I think the mosquito reduction has already been taken care of for this month. I could be wrong. I think I had somebody there a little over a week ago handling things. So he probably is not going to do that. It's already done. Don't need to worry about it. We'll get the opportunity to hang out a little bit later outside now that most of the moisture is gone and I can breathe again. Life is good. 6:09 with Dixon and Vining. Let's go ahead and get this thing rolling, shall we?
And now, it's Dixon and Vining's top 3 things you need to know.
Well, apparently the bombing has been called off. Supposed to be the biggest air campaign since World War II. But Donald Trump says, well, Iran is working on, and we're almost at the end of a deal here, where we are going to open the Strait of Hormuz for 60 days. We are going to take away any chance of Iran ever having a nuclear weapon. Does this sound familiar? Is this a story from 2 months ago? What am I doing
3
here?
months ago,
3 months
4
ago,
months
yeah,
ago,
exactly.
and 5 months, and 6 months ago.
Yeah, he says, oh, we're almost at the deal point. We've heard this multiple times, and then we heard that we were at the deal point, and then they started, lobbing bombs at ships in the Strait of Hormuz, and that was all over. How many times do we have to press repeat on this thing is my question.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you when I was thinking about coming up here this morning. What's the end game here?
Look, there's nothing I'd like more than to have a deal where Iran says, fine, we're never going to get a nuclear bomb. Strait of Hormuz is wide open, and everybody go back to life the way it was before we started all of this, okay?
And all sanctions removed.
All sanctions removed. Do you think that they can stick to that? Because I really don't think they can. They haven't in the past when it's been, offered to them. They don't seem to be able to handle that. And so we keep going back to the bombing, and I can't help but feel like it's probably going to happen again here. This is nothing more than the kid who says, whoa, time out in the middle of a pillow fight because he's losing.
Right.
And then, rears back and gives you a gigantic wallop when he feels like starting over again. And, then you go back and you have to basically beat the stew out of him. And we've been doing this to Iran now for 14, 15 straight nights, I want to say.
It reminds me of my youth when it was boils, then frogs,
Yeah.
then blood,
Yeah.
pestilence,
Uh-huh.
all those things. At number 10, it worked.
Yeah. Finally, let
Well,
my
maybe
people
we'll
go.
get to number 10.
We're going to get to firstborn male children?
That's right.
Is that what you're afraid of?
That's what I'm afraid of, since I am
well,
one.
The problem is they can't abide by whatever rule.
We
deal they make.
not never sure who you're talking to.
That's exactly right.
I mean, I guess if you make a deal with the U.S. at least, and the government, ratifies a treaty, you can be fairly confident that we'll live up to our end of the bargain. These people, and just like everywhere in the world, all they want to do is maintain power.
Sure.
But we'll let them maintain their power.
Right. No one's trying
But
to
is
take their power away.
Is their power based on we have enough and we're getting ready to go smush out Israel, and that's what keeps us in power?
They really, really want that nuclear weapon, and they really, really feel like they should get one. And that is going to be a problem going forward. We're not going to be able to deal with that. That's unacceptable. That's the whole reason we're doing this. In case anybody's forgotten, we cannot allow Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Look at the way they behave without one. You certainly can't allow them to have one with, see how they would behave with one. That would be, no, absolutely not.
So let's just pretend we're sitting at the table here with whoever is representing Iran. And you say, all right, here's these are non-negotiable. You can't have a nuclear weapon.
Yeah.
We must have a nuclear weapon. Meeting is adjourned.
Right.
There's nothing further to talk about.
We'll go back and bomb you some more.
That's correct. And when you get tired of the bombing, come back, and if you still say we're not letting that go, then there'll be more bombing.
The problem with meeting is adjourned is the fact that we are dealing with Governor Lepedemain.
Oh, no. And his secretary.
Uh-huh.
Help me, Miss Schwartz.
Mm-hmm. Think of your secretary. Representative Andy Ogles is moving to impeach an Obama-appointed judge. Here's the way this went. At one point, several district judges ruled that Donald Trump could not remove the temporary on the protected status of Haitians and others who had come to this country. They came technically legally, but they had TPS, temporary protective status. Several district judges ruled that he could not do that. It found its way up to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals in Texas. Excuse me, in Texas said, no, he can do that if he wants to. And it went all the way to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court ruled, not surprisingly, 6-3. Yes, it's called temporary protected status. The President of the United States can decide how temporary it is. And by the way, just to be clear, you district judges, you have no say in this whatsoever. Just stop it, okay? The Supreme Court felt the need to explain to district judges that they have zero power when it comes to temporary protected status. And then Judge Allison Burroughs, another district judge, decided to put a halt on the whole removal of Somali immigrants because, no, you can't take their temporary protected status off. And the Trump administration is like, that's not a ruling. The Supreme Court already ruled on this. We don't have to do this again. We're not going to do this again. And Representative Andy Ogles says, I think maybe it's time we impeach some of these judges. There has to be something. Because she knew, this judge, Allison Burroughs, was completely aware of what the Supreme Court said. She knows what they said. She knows how they said it. She knows why they said it. And she still decided that she was going to rule this way. So what it comes down to is at some point, a few judges are going to have to lose their jobs and lose their robes to make them stop behaving this way.
It seems to me, and this is what I do with almost every news story, if I were in the courtroom, I would have, in arguing on the Supreme Court side, let's say, said, Your Honor, how does this differ from the case where the Supreme Court just said X?
Yeah.
And I don't know what her answer might have been, but if it's, well, this is a little different because it's Somalis instead of Haitians, you're going down and then quickly.
Well, I mean, when the Supreme Court says to the district judges, it's not about this case or that case. It's about you, where you are in the hierarchy of things, and how you don't have any power when it comes to temporary protected status. Don't care who it is. Yeah, don't care who it is. Right, so that's why I say a few judges are going to have to lose their robes.
And it might well happen. That's defiance. That's not just disagreement.
A tenant at the park at Buckingham apartment complex has filed a lawsuit against the property owners and the managers. A couple of days after the city of Homewood condemned one of the buildings and everyone had to leave. Joshua Young suing the owners and property managers at the complex. Young said He began noticing black mold growing from his bathroom ceiling shortly after he moved in 2024. He mentioned it to management. Nothing ever happened. Lawsuit also claims Young encountered rats in his unit. Yee. Water leaks, sewage backups, stray dogs, trash left in public areas, repeated fire alarms that sounded for extended periods before being addressed or ceasing. Court documents say on July 22nd, Young found a bright pink danger notice outside Building 11, stating the building had been deemed unsafe for human occupancy by the City of Homewood Fire Marshal's office. A few days later, Young found the notice on his door ordering residents to vacate because the property was condemned. Notice also warned against unauthorized entry. Frankly, I can't believe he stuck around that long. I think I noticed black mold in the bathroom. I'd be like, guys, you're not getting any more rent. I'll be over here. Once you get this fixed, you give me a call, okay?
And then rats.
Yeah, rats.
I mean, you think cockroaches are bad.
Sewage backing up.
That's So now I don't know what he's expecting to accomplish by his suit. Maybe get some rent back, and maybe get some his deposit back, and maybe some damages against them for whatever it cost him to move to a new place.
Yeah.
But that sounds like a pretty good lawsuit.
Getting booted all at once. I mean, it was like he was living there, and then they're like, nope, not anymore. Oh, whoa, hey, that happened all at once. What? How did he, what now?
So Richard Dixon, as foreman of the jury in this case, with the rats and the mold and the sewage, how much do you want to award this guy?
That depends. Is he ever going to collect is the real question.
Well, you got some hardware in the building that's got to be worth something.
There was a time when that, by the way, was actually a really nice apartment complex. I mean, it's only about 30 years old. I say only, but I mean, my house is 30 years old, and it doesn't have black mold. How come it's got to be black anyway? That's a real question.
Yeah.
617.
African-American mold?
Dixon,
is that what you want to call it?
That's what we should call it. Let's try to be a little more thoughtful about the mold. We'll get this show up and lumbering under its own weight momentarily. Stick around. 623 Dixon Dividing Talk 995, talk995.com. I didn't fix Spud's camera during that break. I probably should have. Can't hear you, brother.
Stand tall in the business for
Yeah,
a while.
yeah, that's you.
You sure are short.
Yeah, I am. I'm a tiny little guy, and I got my mic right in front of my face so people can't see me this morning. I like it that way.
So if you see this man, do not attempt to apprehend him. Report it to the local FBI.
Alabama Tree Pros, 308-4158. These are the guys that are going to come out, take a tree all the way down if that's what you want. Just trim it up if that's what you want. Try to save it if you want it saved, if you can do that. They're always looking to save you money, and if saving the tree is the best way to save you money, then they can make that happen. If, on the other hand, you were absolutely positively intent on that tree going bye-bye, they can fix that for you. They've got all the tools, all the men necessary. They got a real crack staff there, man. These guys, they crawl all over that tree. They got all the weaponry necessary to bring it down to the ground and chop it up into pieces. And then the giant crane arm shows up with a giant a dump truck and just loads these logs in. It's really something to behold. I don't know about you, but I have a sneaking suspicion that every grown man becomes like a 5-year-old kid when he's around heavy machinery, you know? We're just kind of like, oh, look at the big yellow thing. That's great. You can't help yourself, you know? Alabama Tree Pros, they get to work with this stuff every day. And they do it for less, which is great. AlabamaTreePros.com. If you'd like to find out more, AlabamaTreePros.com, 308-4158. If I sound a little rough this morning, it's because it was a very rough weekend for me. The breathing thing, it started Saturday evening, and it just all night. So Saturday night was one of the least enjoyable nights of my life. It was like breathing through a cocktail straw all night long. No sleep to be had, of course. And finally, something gave at about 8:30 in the morning, and I did finally get to drift off for about 3 hours. But then yesterday was, struggling through a day with virtually no sleep under my belt. I had great plans for this weekend. I mean, really, really good plans for this weekend.
Yes.
Because I didn't have anything scheduled, and I thought, oh, here we go. I want to go see the new Spider-Man, brand new day. $350 million opening weekend, by the way. Second biggest opening of all time. Behind, I believe, Avengers Endgame. I'm like, okay, but I don't remember enough of the other 3 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, so I'm going to refresh myself on this. I'm going to watch Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, and Spider-Man No Way Home, and I'm going to watch all 3 streaming, and then Sunday I'm going to go see the movie. And
Spider-Man
I'll be all caught up.
Home Alone.
That's the one, yeah.
Yes.
It was in the middle of Homecoming, which, by the way, here's how much I'd forgot about that movie. I forgot Michael Keaton played the Vulture. Kind of an important role. He was the villain, and I just totally spaced that off. I was like, oh, my God, I forgot he was in this. Okay. So probably best that I'm, reimagining this, and I'm reacquainting myself with the Spider-Man shows. And right in the middle of it, I just suddenly was overcome by a gust of weariness, if there is such a thing.
A gust.
A gust of weariness,
yes.
And I said, boy, I'm not even 2/3 of the way through this movie. I can't keep my eyes open. I'm going to go take a nap. So I went and took a nap. Look, you wake up at 3:30 every morning for 5 days in a row. Come Saturday, no matter how much sleep you think you got Saturday night, you're going to have a little dragginess to you. You
Right.
can't help it, okay? I've been out Friday night, by the way. Went to Ferris and saw a really great
Doobie Brothers cover.
Doobie Brothers
I want to
cover
hear
band
about that
called
at some point.
Brotherhood. Yeah, they were very, very good. Really enjoyed that show. Not as much as I enjoyed the Doobie Brothers when I saw them live, but
Right.
they were a close approximation. So anyway, I go, I take a nap. I wake up and 4 hours. I slept for 4 hours.
You've been here?
I slept for 4 hours. I scared my wife. I woke up and I went, boy, I must have needed that,
Yeah, that's how it
yeah,
works.
so I go back to watching Spider-Man Homecoming. I've already forgotten the first half of the movie because I slept for 4 hours. I'm like, where are we in the? And I watched the next one then, Spider-Man Far From Home. I realized about 10 or 15 minutes into it, I've never actually seen this movie. Like, I've seen bits and pieces of it, but I've never actually seen the entire movie. And so I'm like, well, good thing I'm watching this because I had forgotten that I really didn't know it. So I watch the whole thing. And then I go to bed, and that's when the trouble began. We started getting rumbly thunder. We started getting rain. My throat closes up. My airwaves just decide that they're not going to work any longer. And I gasped like a fish out of water for approximately 12 hours. Fun. Yeah. Which of course, exhausts me on Sunday as well. And I've, still got a bunch of phlegm in my lungs. And we're still struggling, people, but we're here. And that's the important thing. I am on every drug that I'm allowed to be on for this. And there are some that you go, well, how about an extra hit of that? No, that would actually make matters worse. There's like the inhaler.
You're all the way dialed up to 10 on medicine.
11. I'm on
11.
11.
Please go to
That's
11.
good. That's good.
I'm at 11 on all the medication I can take, which there is nothing more distressing than looking at your array of medicines that you have to treat this, and there are quite a few, and realizing I'm on all of them and I still can't breathe.
You got the buffet of medicines on the
I got
chest.
everything.
I mean, look,
Yeah.
if it gets bad, the yellow mask will fall down out of the ceiling here.
If only.
Put it on.
Yeah.
Put it on yourself first, then help the youngsters. And
If you've ever heard of the canned air product Boost, Boost was my best friend on Saturday night and Sunday.
you brought one with you this morning?
And I forgot it. It's my best friend, and I leave it at home.
I know what it's like to be your best friend and get forgotten.
That's true. It's happened to you
Wes
more than
knows
once.
that too.
It's happened to you more than once. 6:30 with Dixon and Spud, filling in for Valerie Vining just today. She'll be back a week from today, but I have other fill-ins for the rest of the week, so stick around. It's Talk 99.5 and Talk995.com. All right, Spud has been appropriately dwarfized. He's right back down to size there. Sawed off little runt. You really have to turn the mic on before you start talking. There you
Okay.
go.
This is what I do at the doctor's office when he measures my height.
Yeah.
He said,
Try to stand up and.
he says 5'3.5". I said, can you put it down for a 5'4"? The James Madison model.
Yeah, very nice.
Okay.
It is Dixon and Vining. He is Mark Spud Friedman in for the vacationing Valerie Vining. Thanks for tuning in. Monday morning, the 3rd of August. Don't know how we got here, but man, oh man, it is already August. The Alabama Men's Clinic is very interested in how you're living your life. What's going on with you? Do you have the right amount of testosterone? That's something I don't have to worry about, thankfully, because I am well covered by the Alabama Men's Clinic. If you're not between 600 and 900, you're below 600, then that is something that you need to look into. Figure out how exactly you're going to get that testosterone level back up to where it needs to be. Now, they have a variety of different options. You get your number on your first visit, your initial consultation. It's $99. Then they sit down and talk to you, come up with a plan. How do you want to reach, where you need to be? And, of course, you got to maintain it once it's there as well. Very important. The Alabama Men's Clinic can also help you with things like weight loss, hair loss, ED, PD, you name it. They work on all of these things. And you can find out more at their website, alabamamensclinic.com, alabamamensclinic.com. Go there and take a quiz. Find out if you might have low T. That's your first step, and then the actual blood test is the second step. Alabama Men's Clinic, 598-7000, the telephone number, 598-7000. Go ahead, make the phone call, and begin changing your life almost immediately. All right, has everyone figured out what TV channel is where, or are we all still confused? Because that happened on Saturday, right?
Confused.
You fall into the confused category?
Steve?
I do everything off of streaming, so I don't care.
You have no TV provider?
I have no satellite, no cable, no YouTube Premium, nothing. I'm just straight streaming.
Okay.
What do you want? So you can't get local channels at all?
Nope.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean, that's one way out of the problem.
It certainly is. You don't have to worry about it. You also don't get to watch any of your programs.
I just have to wait a day.
Yeah. Oh, that's true, because Hulu generally picks stuff up the next day. A lot of stuff is carried the next day. Paramount.
Not so good for live sports, though.
No, I would agree with that. That's where you
I have certain streaming services that allow me to catch most of it.
ESPN Plus, for instance. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So in the big trading business, what was formerly the programming on 42, WIAT,
CBS, right?
has been now transferred to WVTM.
Right.
And if you have a local antenna that picks up out of the air, I think you can find it on 13.4.
That is correct. Yeah. Yeah, if you have a digital tuner, pretty much all sets now have digital tuners built into them. But, if you have an older set, you had to go get a digital tuner to plug your cable into. The 13.4 is relatively easy to find. That's probably the easiest way to find it.
What's a digital tuner?
A digital tuner is actually a box that you plug the cable into that then goes into your CRT, cathode ray tube television, assuming people still have those. I don't know. I don't know why you would. The flat screens are so cheap nowadays. I couldn't believe
ridiculously
it. Walking
low.
Through Walmart the other day, and I was like...
They're so cheap, people quit stealing them at Walmart.
It's no point.
So now, if you don't have that, then if you have a provider, let's say YouTube TV
that's what I have,
or Spectrum or Uverse or DirecTV, you can't pick up what is now being broadcast on WIAT, which is mostly weather and local news.
Yeah.
But Steve's old friends at the old CW will be moving over to...
Eventually, they'll become the network. It's 42, and that'll be owned and operated because the same company that owns Channel 42 owns the CW network.
So now, surely these providers are going to have to pick that up because the CW has some loyal followings.
Sure, yeah.
But it's NASCAR for one. What else does CW carry that most people might like, Steve?
Well, they have really upped their game on the sports side of things, ACC, football, basketball, things like that. So their sports programming has picked up a lot. Their primetime programming still, it's a little lacking.
And so then, hopefully, we are hopeful that that these providers will add that as a channel. Right now, yesterday when we went to look for the golf tournament, which was carried by CBS,
Yeah.
I thought, I'm not going to get this. So I turn on CBS, and lo and behold, there is a golf tournament. But on the screen, it says we're showing Friends, which is probably what the CW was showing at that time. So right now, I can get CBS programming, NBC programming, ABC programming, but whatever's on 42, including our dear friend Arnie, I can't get.
That's weird because I'm watching it right now. I just turned it on.
What's the signal come through on this?
Satellite. We got some sort of satellite. I'm not sure. Is this DirecTV, Steve, or is it
I think it's DirecTV.
DirecTV, yeah.
I don't believe you can get 42 on DirecTV.
We're watching it right now, my brother. There it is.
That's why I'm suspicious. Let me say, I'm born to be suspicious.
You see, it says Alabama's 42 right up there, Storm team.
Yeah, well, I'm not suspicious about whether that's 42.
Okay.
I'm suspicious about whether you're getting it through DirecTV or maybe some over-the-air, maybe a digital tuner.
No, we don't have any of that.
No, we don't.
No, we got none of that.
That's coming straight through the satellite.
Yep.
The Channel 42 has an agreement with Dish Network to put all of their stuff on there.
Dish?
That's not a problem. Or Dish or DirecTV, either one. They've got an agreement with the
Uverse,
satellite
but I don't get it.
Huh.
And that's owned by AT&T, which is DirecTV.
Uh-huh.
It's a mystery wrapped in an enigma.
Somebody's out to get you, Spud.
That's always the case. It's really not paranoia if they're out to get you.
It's true. I mean, just because you are paranoid doesn't mean they're not out to get you.
That's
right.
right.
What I think.
That's correct.
Okay, so yeah, this really wasn't. Was this really a huge switch? I guess CBS programming going to 13.4 is weird.
Yeah, the fact that the major network is not on a main channel is probably the biggest surprise out of all this.
That is strange, but we're kind of reaching a point now where main channels no longer apply. There's a lot of stuff that, we do things the way we do them because we've always done them that way, right?
The worst answer to any question
Terrible way to live your life. But for instance, the television season starting in the fall and running through the spring, and then you
39
do
weeks
reruns during. Well, it's 20. You get 22 episodes is a pretty standard season. 22, 24 maybe, yeah. But then you do reruns during the summer months. And somewhere along the line, when we started looking at stuff like Reacher, we started looking at stuff like Only Murders in the Building, because those are streaming shows. And even though they really just stream, they don't throw them all out there at once. They give you one episode a week, just like you would if you were watching it on ABC or NBC or anything like that. But they start it whenever the hell they feel like it. They're just like, you know what, we're going to start this in August. We're going to start this in late August. It's going to be 12 episodes or 8 episodes or however long it's going to be. And then you can rewatch those if you want to, but that's it. We're done. We'll come up with another, 8 or 10 episodes in a year's time, maybe, if you're lucky. And that seems to work. We'd just been programmed to do the fall to spring thing. Now people are beginning to say, why? We don't have to do that. And I think it's wise. I think it's good. I think it's nice that you can turn on a brand new episode of something in the middle of January, from out of nowhere, where they just go, oh, we're going to start showing this now. Great. I love it.
Or you find something that's been on a year or so, and one of your friends said, "Did you watch Landman?"
Right. I don't know
what is
never
that.
Seen it, yeah.
No, so, no, you ought to. Then
Right.
they start watching it, and they can't quit watching it.
Right.
It's like morphine. I need more Landman.
But the good news is you can go back and pick up the earlier episodes.
That's correct. Go all the way
which
back
is-
to season 1 of
Yeah.
Ted Lasso. If somebody convinces you that's funny and worth watching, you can watch for the next 2 or 3 months without anything else having to go.
We are becoming horribly, horribly spoiled by all of this.
What's wrong with that?
Television on demand whenever
What's
you want.
wrong
Because I think today's children will never know the excitement of, hurry, it's back on. You're running during the commercial break.
Hey,
You try to-
Tracy, get off the phone. I need to use it.
You got to go use the bathroom and make a sandwich and get back in the chair before the second half of Roots begins or whatever,
And you couldn't pause a baseball game.
No.
I need to go to the bathroom, but it's the third inning and there's 2 on and 2 out. I
Right.
can't,
At that point in time, if you missed it, you missed it.
Exactly. Which is makes it sort of interesting, some of the great TV moments that you could feel like you were a part of, that you could see I didn't see it, of course, but Hank Aaron hitting number 714.
I saw it.
Yeah, you see it on TV?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
WTBS.
Yeah. What I remember is things like Cher calling David Letterman an a-hole on his show, and I was like, I can't believe I just watched that. Like, I can't believe that just happened.
The first season of Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah. I've got a DVD set of that.
Yeah.
It was actually a friend of mine who just loaned it to me. And I sat down and watched every single one of those episodes. It is amazing how much crap our brains filter out, because there were a lot of sketches that didn't work. There were a lot of dead times on that show that you were just... Now, what we all remember is the really funny stuff. I'm
Land
Chevy
Shark.
Chase and you're not. We remember Land Shark. We remember Roseanne, Dana. But there
Remember,
were...
I'm Chevy Chase, you're not.
Exactly.
That's right.
There were a lot of real bombs during that first season. And, you go back and watch it and you're like, I can't believe this show lasted as long as it did. I can't believe it's still on after all this time, because, yeah, it was...
But the good parts still hold up.
Oh, absolutely.
But then, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't it kind of evolve over the course of time? Because, I mean, George Carlin kind of came in and came out doing stand-up in the debut episode, and then eventually it kind of changed into what kind of we know now.
Yeah.
Host comes out at the beginning, does a monologue, and then there's a whole bunch of skits.
The musical guest.
And yeah.
It took a while before it really began to blend. And they had some weird guest hosts in that first year. I'm trying to remember the name of the guy. He had played a detective on television. He was an older Irish guy. You most likely would picture him with a fedora and a raincoat, not Peter Falk, but yeah. And I was just like, Bronigan. Bronigan? Is that? I can't think of it. Anyway, you just are like, why the hell did they get him? Because it's who they could get. They got whoever they could get. Paul Simon did the second one. It was mostly music. You sit and watch that and you just go like, so they just decided to become a musical show at this point? Nope. The next one, they were back to comedy. Some of it good, some of it not. About 60% of it didn't work. Really kind of interesting to go back and watch that over again. 648 with Dixon and Vining, Talk 995, talk995.com. 545-9950 if you'd like to sound off on anything that happens to hit you wrong. 6:53. Dixon and Vining, Talk 99.5, talk995.com. We also have a flipped car on 65 South.
What kind?
Flipped.
Oh, flipped.
Flipped. It's flipped over on 65 South, just south of Lay Dam Road.
That's going to hurt the resale volume.
Probably. I'll tell you, one time I was driving down, headed home back when I lived in Prattville. I was driving, and we all got kind of bunched up around where you'd get off to go to the Oak Mountain Amphitheater, I guess 119.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, geez, here we go. We're crawling now. Oh, Hootie and the Blowfish were in town. It was like, yeah, it was the 90s, and, they were really big. So we're crawling, we're creeping, we're crawling, and then I realized there's something else going on. And sure enough, I get in the far left lane and inch by, and there is a car that is upside down on its hood, on its top, I guess you would call it. And it's so perfectly there, like it's as if somebody had just picked it up, turned it over, and set it back down again. And I was like, how does that even happen? There was no bashing on any side or front or anything that I could see. It was just a perfectly upside down car. I've been wondering about that since that day. Like, how does that happen?
Were there people still in it?
No, it was abandoned at that point, and the cops were not there yet.
Maybe it was a prank. Somebody left their car there.
Hilarious.
3 or 4 people got out of their big, strong, world's strongest men.
Right.
Magnus Magnuson and Samuel Samuelson got up there and put it on its head.
Yeah.
Kept on driving. Said, this
or later on that night, son, where's the car? I don't know, Mom. I don't know, Dad. I swear it was there when I was here early. I don't know what happened to it.
Somebody put an upside-down car right where ours was.
You would literally have to pick it up, flip it over, and set it down very carefully for that to happen. Because if you even rolled it, you'd end up with some damage on the side that got rolled over on.
And broken glass all over.
Yeah. No way to. Still very weird.
Are you sure it really happened, Richard? Because that was back in the.
Yeah, you're right. It was the 90s. The 90s were good to me. Next hour we'll get into RFK Jr.
Yes.
Brawling with Dana Bash and CNN and trusting the experts and so on and so forth. It is astounding to me, and I'm sure we'll revisit it when we get to this topic, but it is astounding to me how many people are still unwilling to admit, despite the diary that we now have read and have seen, are unwilling to admit that Anthony Fauci was full of crap. I mean, there are people who just will not admit it. They're still going to stick with the 6 feet of distancing and the masks and everything. We did everything right, and he was the expert, and he saved a lot of people, and we should all, we owe him a debt of gratitude, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, are you so unwilling to admit that you were wrong? Is it so difficult for you to say, well, I got taken for a ride along with a lot of other people?
I got a great friend who's exactly that way. And we mentioned it the other night, and he got riled up.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, it's not that important to me.
It's not. It's not. I mean, but there are people out there who are just absolutely, they're going to toe that line all the way down the road. And here we now have what he was writing to himself in his own. And by the way, if you're wondering, where did this diary come from? It wasn't so much a diary as it was a series of notes, some of them several pages long, that Anthony Fauci was writing for himself, potentially for a book later or just for posterity. But he was doing it on a government server. And the minute you do something on a government server, it is open to the Freedom of Information Act request. And that is exactly how it was gotten. Somebody said, we want to see his writings.
What did you find the most damning things in there?
That early on he wrote, we know it was a lab leak. He basically said, yeah, it came from the lab. Now, it may have been, what did he call it, expanded or?
Gain of function?
No, increased by the wet market. I mean,
okay.
basically he said that was the sound chamber that actually made it worse. It's like, no, it wasn't. It was bad to begin with, okay?
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, that he was funding gain of function. He actually, NIH was just exactly as Rand Paul said, and that they were basically working to create this monster. And they did create this monster. And then this monster got out of the lab, and he was bound and determined to, A, make sure nobody thought it was him, and B, that, it wasn't a lab. But I agree with Jon Stewart. If you have a gush of chocolate on the streets of Hershey, Pennsylvania, you don't really have to think too hard about where it came from. It almost certainly came from the Hershey factory, which is right there. So, yeah, Wuhan virus coming out of the lab in Wuhan should not really be a surprise to anybody. But he flat lied and did everything he could to try to distract from his role in this. And his role was pretty big.
Well, covering one's butt is a pretty standard ploy when you have that. The things about how enamored he was with his life.
Yeah.
And who he had made friends with and goes out to dinner with when you can't go out to dinner.
Right, yeah.
I mean, Gavin Newsom got me on that, too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, all of that was rather distressing. That he was really excited about being friends with Jake Tapper, and I'm just like, oh, why? He loved his newfound celebrity, and I drew a parallel last week between him and Judge Ito from the O.J. trial. I
Right.
thought he was another narcissist who was just enjoying his role in that a little bit too much. I'm like, you're supposed to be a judge. You're supposed to be even-handed, and this is not. You're not supposed to be a star coming out of this.
Adulation is very addictive. That's why these boxers at age 42 and 43 get back in the ring. They don't need the money.
Right.
They just can't stand not having crowds cheering for them.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't know about the adulation things, but
Oh, yes, you would. Yes, you do. You're a
7 o'clock.
local adulation
yeah,
hero.
that's me.